They are the primary things that we need in our process. When modeling, there are things you should put in mind. When animating, there are things you should put in mind. There are key things you should remember, things you should click. For creating lighting and camera movements, the same thing, there are things to put in mind. So uh, those are the things I'm basically going to hammer on. So please do well to take note of it. This is our storyboard and the rest, or storyline or script or whatever it is that I've been asking for the past few months that has not yet shown up his face. No, I won't ask again. I'll just assume you're not interested. Uh, so please, when your parents ask, let them know that you conditionally refused to do your project. So when they see it on your result and you don't have a project portfolio to submit, it's your fault, not mine. So good luck. Let's continue class. So like I say, we're still modeling. The last class we did, we created a table and we had some bottles and some cups. I said we should go and practice about it. We're using NURBS splines to create surfaces. Today we're still going to deal with, we'll talk about still using splines to create something. We use lathe last class, that's the revolve. And this class we'll talk about the loft. We use the loft in AutoCAD. That one where you draw shapes and then you just connect them together. That's the loft. So it's the same way it works in Maya, but unfortunately in 3ds Max it doesn't work that way. It has a more mathematical way it works, very annoyingly. So I think I would draw on the front view. Splines. So go into the shapes, where we have splines, and just draw a path from one point to the other. Just a single path. And then we could draw a circle of various sizes. Circle of various sizes. And probably a star. Yeah, a star would be nice. But with 12 points. 12-point star. Mm, yep. Can increase the fillet radius to 5 feet or whatever. And then lastly, a very small rectangle. So I'm having 3 circles of varied sizes. Three circles of varied sizes, a star of 12 points, and then a small rectangle. This is what we have. And then we have a path. Are we done drawing? The shapes of what we are drawing are very straightforward. So three circles of varied sizes, a star of 12 points, and then rectangles. So that when you draw the star, you can increase the points um, from its parameters. Are we done? Mm. Okay. Is it? No, I'm not cold. I feel very uneasy wearing t-shirts alone. Okay. So, all right. I know you cannot guess what you want to create. We want to create a screwdriver. Let's create a screwdriver. Okay. Eh? I don't know. That felt like I know I want to create something complex, and screwdriver looks like something complex. It doesn't look complex. Yeah, sure. You don't know what's complex about a screwdriver. No, with a loft, I can't do too many complexities that don't have solidity. So, but with a screwdriver, I can. So the way this loft tool works here in 3ds Max, very annoyingly, I don't know why they made it work that way. It's you need to select a path, and then you will select the objects that will be lofted along that path in different degrees of the path. So basically, like the way we use it in AutoCAD, you just put your shapes and then you click them and the thing will be joining. It's the same way it works in Maya and in Cinema 4D and generally almost every other software. But 3ds Max has a mind of its own. So you need a path where the loft is following. Then the shapes you are picking, this is the first point of my path, this is the last point. So this is 0%, this is 100%. So at different percentages, you are adding the shapes. So to create the loft, select the path or the object that you want to loft. So let's say this guy, the line now. This is going to be our path. Then you want to come into your create option here, this geometry section, and choose compound objects. So it's under compound objects, we find some interesting guys here. I'll show you how to use the loft. I'll show you how to use terrain. Somewhere in our training, once we're doing Maya, I'll come back here and show us how to use terrain. Um, Today also show you how to use the Boolean. So now with my path selected, I can select the loft command. Once you click on the loft command, it brings out this option. Notice the gizmo changed my path. It's no longer active. So the loft is now looking for something. It says, okay, I want to get a path. So this is already my path. I've already gotten the path. Next thing is I want to get a shape that will be at 0% in the path. So for my screwdriver, I think my first shape should be this red circle. So I click get shape and I click this and it gets the first shape, right? That's at that side of the circle. Yeah, if you don't have the path selected, you get path, then you can get shape. So this is at 0%. So that circle was created at 0%, but it's spread around the path, which is normal. I want to move to like 10%. I want to go up to like 10 here and get that same shape. It's going in a circle. No, no, no. This is the loft, right? Okay, so loft, right? So your path has already been selected. So get shape, get the shape. So it will create that initial shape. Mm. Okay, I think 10 is high. Let me make it smell less. This then this place that they wrote path here. Have we all done this one? We've all done this, right? Amir, you gotten this? Do you have this shape? I want us to move together because the way this guy works is very tricky. So you need to zoom out, zoom out, zoom out, zoom out, zoom out. Good. You're already on loft. Go to your path parameters and scroll. Get shape. Get the first shape. No, that's not your shape. Do it again. Loft. Get shape. So choose a circle. Good. So we are here now. Okay. Now I want to create another small portion that will have that same shape. So I will come here and probably type something like 3 or 2. Well, let me do 2. I press enter. So what happens then is that's 2.0. What happens then is now at 2% in the design or on along my path, I want to create the next shape. So I will get shape. This time I will get that same shape that I got initially. So once I do that, you notice a circle on that line, right? Good. Now you can come to your path and increase it by 3. Go to 3. Get shape. You can get the bigger circle or the next shape of circle. It will look like this now. So if your first two shapes were your smaller circle, by the time you get to your next circle, it will look something like this. But you use a bigger circle in the initial one. You use your biggest circle, right? Was it your biggest circle or your smallest circle? Okay, I think it's your biggest circle. So you're using the same. Which one do you use? Is it this or this? This one. Okay, so this third line, just Control Z. No, it's okay, it's okay. Mm. So for that 3 now, the shape you want to get to be this bigger circle. Mm. The reason why we got those two, besides we get here and here, then now we get the bigger one, so it goes into it. So what was your first circle? Which circle did you create first? This one. Okay, let's undo that. Okay, so let's try again. No, let's get a smaller circle. Get shape, get shape. Get a smaller one, yes. Good. Go down to your parameters. Raise it to 2. We just write 2.0 there. Good. Get shape. That same circle. Yeah. Good. Now go to 3. Good. Get shape. Get the bigger circle. So you get that, right? Good. So as you're moving in the percentages and you're changing the shapes of the object is changing as well. Okay. So this is 3. You can do at 4 the same shape. At 4, get shape, get that same circle so that it's just right at that tip there. That same big circle you just used. Change it at 4, get shape, get another circle. So you can, the process is kind of weird. You're just going back and forth, back and forth. Very annoying. All right. Now, at 4.5, at 4.5, let's say 4.5, whatever the 5 is. I want to get shape, but I want to get the star. No, 4.5 something. As in just click this up, so you get 4.5 something something. So that's 4.5. I want to get the star. To get those weird. Yeah. No, just 4.5 or whatever. Then get shape, get the star that we created. And don't worry, we can reduce whatever shape you have that is large. You can mess it up. Okay, it's quite big, right? Alright, so let's just scale. We will scale it down later. I will show you how to scale it down later. We will need to, I want to, let's finish the construction. If your star is big, no problem. If your this is big, no problem. Just get the star. The way loft objects work is if you want to reduce their sizes, because they are generated from the shapes, once you adjust the shapes, they will adjust the objects themselves. All right, so at 15, thereabout, at 15, let me see how 15 will look like. I want to also get that star. Yep, okay, 15 is, I think I should do 20 instead. Yeah? Is it 25? No. What? I should try. No, let me do 20. At 20, I want to start from where you are now. So at 20, get the shape for that star again. Get the same star shape. Then at 20, no, let's say 20, was it 21? No, I'm trying to see the distance that we had here initially. Between this first and the second, I think it was 1. So at 21, let's get that first circle, that big circle that we got before. This big circle that we got before. At 21 and at 22, we want to get um, that same big circle. Okay. Then at 23, want to get your smallest circle. No, 20 and 21. No, 21 and 22. Sorry, they are getting that circle, that big circle that we used to get this side. You will get that same circle again. At 23, we have this guy, this the smaller guy. Then we're going to do a very long jump to 95. I think 95 should be fine. We get that same circle, that same small circle that we had. And then at 100, one, at 100, you want to get the rectangle. Want to get the rectangle. At 100, we get the rectangle so that we can have this look. So it's round, and when it gets to the end, it becomes flat. The flat part, the rectangle, that rectangle that you made, that's one rectangle that you made. So we had circle, circle, circle. At 95, that same circle. Then at 100, the rectangle. That is the materials, we'll deal with it. So now that we have this, you can adjust the shapes you've made already. Just make sure you're out of the uh, construction part. Just right click. So you can select, if you go into your modifier, your loft, under your shapes, you can pick a shape that you want to adjust. So, and all this stuff. So you can see shape and path there. You can actually pick the shape and do any adjustments you want to do to it. You want to rotate it, you can rotate it. You want to scale it down, you can scale it down. So, all right. All right. You in your modifier, go to the shape under loft. Click on the arrow, you see shape, then select the rectangle. Uh, then scale it down on the preferably on the red axis. Then the stars, you can also increase those ones by selecting them, holding down control to select both of them. Then you can increase them generally. So actually select all the shapes here and move them forward if you feel like you need more space in your screwdriver. We want to make these circles a little bit smaller as well. You can select them. Remember that in 3ds Max, to select multiple things is holding control, not shift. Okay. All right. So this is how Loft is used in 3ds Max. It's quite weird because of the plenty selections and everything, but it just comes to show the fact that in 3ds Max, just like in AutoCAD, You have to be intentional about what you are selecting, the reason why you're selecting it. Because when you are intentional with your selections, you can make better choices. Right. So this was quite a complex move. The reason why it's complex, or why I said it's complex, is because you have to plan out the shapes involved in the object and start making them. So that's why I said complex. And I meant complex. I didn't mean are you creating it, you will sweat like this. No. That mean that there's a lot of planning involved in the creation of it. So let me show you a reference. I can find it quickly. So if you want to create something like this now, this screwdriver, Jason, like this one. I want to create something like this. You now have to determine the shapes that will get you this look, right? So here's a star will get us this. This one is round one, just like the back here. But then we have a smaller circle, and then we have another star alignment here, which is practically about the same size, smaller distance, and then this guy is here. So anything you want to make using lofts in PS Max, just like how all this noise modeling requires, you need to know what shape forms that profile so that you can bring out surfaces from it. If you don't get the profile well, you may not achieve very much of it. So I think that's just the difference here. Like now, if I want to make a cup, for instance, a cup using this same pattern, I will, in my, let's say, my front view as well, um, I'll just come and pick a line and draw a line from here. I hold down shift to make it straight and drop it here. Okay. And then using these same circles, probably I'll just draw another circle that is not as small, a little bit bigger. Okay. So imagine I want to model this my cup here. That's just this curvature and funny looking stuff like that. So I could um, in the same mind come to my loft, right? At zero, get the first shape, should be this guy. Okay. Then at three, probably I get this one. Then, or no, not at three. Let's say at 48, I get it. Then at 50, I get that big one again. And at 52, I get this small one again. Or, oh, not So let's say 98. 98. I get the small one again. Then 100. I get the big one again. So now with this um, shapes now evolved, I can now come into my modifier list under the loft, under the shape. I can now start making the necessary adjustments. Okay, so something like this. Okay, scale out for this one and this guy. Scale it out so that I have something similar to this design here for this cup that has those um, calls going again. That's how you can get those things done. So basically, you just look at whatever shape you are trying to draw and figure out the extent of its profile. Then it will be easier to map out the design. Any questions? Okay. Control. Right. So unfortunately, when you want to build something like a cup, like this, the best option is still to use um, your lathe or use your polygons. So how do you orbit your view? Go on. Yours is not realistic. Which one is it? Your shading, man. Yours is cartoony. Cartoon. All right, so that's primarily the concepts for these guys. Mm. Me? I create a flashlight. Okay, that's good. Okay, so that's loft. Lofting generally is about connecting shapes, multiple shapes to create a singular shape. Does that make sense? Connecting multiple paths, shape paths to create one singular shape. So it's different from the lathe. The lathe just creates one profile and then revolve around it. So um, in situations where we have a complex design, you can create, like for instance, if you have, let's do something like this. Let's say you have uh, a road network, right? And let's say I have, or something like this. And I then, let me use my view, this right view, have something like this. And that was not nice. Let me draw it again. Let me just do something very sharp, like just weird, 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 weird everywhere. So close that tab. Let me just adjust this guy here as well. Let's say I had a weird concept like this. Came out from one part of a nightmare I had. Okay? I select this guy. I locked him. I can have this kind of design. See the concept here. Jason, see the concept here. So I had a path and I made this funny looking profile. Then lofting them created like a bridge network. So I don't need to make multiple of them. This is just one singular shape. If it was something that was something like that, we needed multiple shapes. But for this one, just something weird. Yeah. So that's generally the concept of our loft. it's quite an interesting tool to use. Also weird in certain places. But then let's go back into our modeling of our dining. We will use this thing to create some things in that house, like rails of curtains and some other stuff. We use it to create some lining somewhere around the house. So that's why using these guys. So I'll just create certain stuff and then we will visit the materials also today. Um, okay, I didn't talk about booleans, right? Boolean tools. Booleans. We did it in AutoCAD, so they practically work the same way. Okay, it's like creating box, probably auto grid. Um, okay. So I'm just putting this guy inside between in this box here. So we have this tube here inside this cube. So booleans work with operands. That's operand. That's an operating. Uh, Let me use edge faces so we can see the edges. Uses operands to work. Um, okay, let me just be nice. Okay, they are still found under